Every great journey begins with an awakening, a realization that there is more within you than you've ever allowed yourself to see. Life often convinces us that we are ordinary, that our limitations define us, and that we are not meant for greatness. But the truth is, deep inside, there lies a reservoir of untapped strength, courage, and potential waiting to be discovered. This power is not given to a chosen few. It is within every single one of us. The difference between those who rise to their calling and those who stay stuck in mediocrity is not talent, luck, or resources, but rather the ability to recognize and unlock the power within. When you start believing that you were made for this very moment, something extraordinary happens. Fear begins to lose its grip, doubt starts to fade, and your vision for the future grows clearer. Too many people allow their past failures, mistakes, or setbacks to define them, but those very struggles were not sent to break you. They were sent to build you. They were preparing you for the moment you are in right now. The challenges you faced were shaping your character, sharpening your skills, and stretching your capacity, because greatness cannot be born in comfort zones. It is forged in the fires of adversity, and it is revealed when you refuse to quit in the face of obstacles. Discovering the power within is not about waiting for the perfect conditions. If you keep waiting for the right time, you'll be waiting forever. The power is unlocked when you take action, even when you don't feel ready, even when the path seems uncertain. You begin to realize that the voice inside telling you you can't is nothing more than an echo of fear. But there is a stronger voice, a whisper of faith and determination urging you forward. The more you listen to it, the louder it becomes. You start trusting yourself, not because everything is guaranteed to work out, but because you know you are equipped to handle whatever comes your way. Think about every great achievement in history. It started with someone who refused to believe they were powerless. They understood that within them was a seed of greatness, and all they had to do was nurture it with belief, discipline, and persistence. That same seed is within you. Perhaps it has been buried under layers of insecurity, doubt, or the opinions of others. But seeds grow in darkness before they ever break through the soil. Right now, even if you cannot see it, something powerful is taking root inside you, waiting for you to acknowledge it and bring it to life. The journey of discovering your inner power requires you to stop comparing yourself to others. Your path is unique, your story is yours alone, and your timing is perfect. You may look at others and feel like they are further ahead, but the truth is, you have everything you need for your assignment. Your struggles have equipped you with wisdom and resilience. Your gifts, even if you haven't fully used them yet, are designed for a specific purpose. When you recognize this, envy fades and you begin to walk in confidence, knowing you are exactly where you need to be to grow into who you were meant to become. There will be days when you feel weak, when the weight of your responsibilities makes you question yourself. But in those very moments, remember that strength is not the absence of struggle. It is the ability to keep moving in spite of it. The power within you is not about perfection, but persistence. It is about getting up one more time than you fall, about speaking words of life over yourself when negativity tries to drown you, about choosing courage when fear demands you stay small. When you truly embrace this inner power, you no longer wait for permission to pursue your dreams. You stop waiting for validation from others and instead validate yourself. You realize that the moment you've been waiting for is now, and that you were created for it. Life will test you, yes, but those tests are not meant to disqualify you. They are meant to reveal your strength. This is your time to step into the fullness of who you are. You don't have to wait until you have everything figured out. You don't have to wait until the path is clear. The greatness inside you is already there, waiting to be expressed. The power within you is not some distant possibility. It is a present reality. And when you discover it, when you embrace it, and when you live it, you will see that you were made for this very moment. Life has a way of presenting us with obstacles that seem overwhelming, moments when it feels like the walls are closing in and the odds are stacked against us. Yet, it is in these very moments that the seeds of opportunity are hidden. What many see as the end of the road is often the very beginning of a new path. Every obstacle you encounter is not meant to stop you. It is designed to shape you, redirect you, and push you toward the greater version of yourself. Turning obstacles into opportunities requires a shift in perspective, a decision to look beyond the struggle and ask, what can I learn from this? How can I grow through this? What is this situation preparing me for? So often we allow challenges to intimidate us, to make us believe that we are not capable or worthy. But obstacles are not proof of weakness, they are proof of life. They are a signal that you are moving, stretching, and reaching for something greater. The people who achieve greatness are not those who have lived free of challenges, but those who found a way to transform their setbacks into stepping stones. They chose to see difficulties not as permanent walls, but as doors to new possibilities. Think about the strongest people you admire: leaders, innovators, dreamers, and world changers. Every single one of them has faced hardship. Many failed more times than they succeeded. But what set them apart was their ability to reframe failure as feedback and pain as preparation. They understood that each obstacle carried within it the gift of growth. When something didn't go their way, they didn't retreat into despair. Instead, they asked themselves how they could use the lesson to come back stronger. That same resilience is inside you, waiting to be activated. Obstacles force us to become creative. When one door shuts, we are compelled to find another way in. When resources run low, we learn to maximize what we have. When others doubt us, we discover the strength of self-belief. These challenges, as painful as they may be in the moment, are shaping your ability to adapt, innovate, and lead. Without obstacles, you would never uncover the depth of your potential. It is in the moments of struggle that your hidden strengths rise to the surface. There is also a deeper reason obstacles appear. They build character. Success achieved without struggle often lacks appreciation. But when you have fought battles, endured storms, and overcome trials, your victories mean more. You value them because you know what it took to achieve them. That value instills gratitude, humility, and perseverance, qualities that sustain you when new challenges arrive. In fact, many times the obstacle itself is not blocking your path. It is building the foundation you need to handle the blessing that's coming. Turning obstacles into opportunities also means refusing to stay a victim of circumstance. You may not have control over what happens to you, but you always have control over how you respond. Life will throw curveballs, but you get to decide whether you will swing or surrender. When you choose to rise above circumstances and search for meaning in the midst of pain, you transform from a victim to a victor. That shift in identity alone is powerful because it changes the way you see yourself and the way you show up in the world. Some of the most life-changing inventions, businesses, and movements were born from obstacles. People lost jobs and created companies. People faced rejection and found new passions. People endured heartbreak and discovered inner strength. In each case, the obstacle that seemed to signal defeat was actually the spark that lit the fire of opportunity. That same potential is alive in your struggles right now. What you are facing may look like the end, but it could very well be the beginning of your greatest breakthrough. The key is to stop asking, "Why me?" and start asking, "What now?" Complaining about obstacles doesn't remove them, but shifting your focus to solutions empowers you. Every setback carries within it the wisdom to rise higher. Every failure is not final, but a stepping stone to success. When you adopt this mindset, you stop fearing obstacles and start welcoming them as opportunities to become stronger, wiser, and more unstoppable. In the end, your story will not be remembered by how easy your path was, but by how you faced the storms and still pressed forward. People will look at you and be inspired, not because everything went smoothly, but because you turned your trials into triumphs. The very things that were supposed to break you will become the reasons you shine, and when that happens, you will realize that every obstacle you faced was not an interruption of your journey, it was an essential part of it. It was the fire that revealed your strength, the challenge that awakened your creativity, and the path that led you to discover the opportunities that were waiting all along. There comes a moment in every person's life when waiting is no longer an option, when hesitation costs more than action, and when the greatest risk is not moving forward but standing still. That moment is now. The courage to take action is one of the most powerful forces you can ever unleash in your life, because action transforms ideas into reality. Dreams are beautiful, visions are inspiring, and goals are necessary, but none of them mean anything without the courage to act. Action is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be, yet many never cross it because fear whispers louder than faith. Fear says you're not ready, you're not capable, you're not worthy. But courage doesn't silence fear, it chooses to move forward in spite of it. Every great achievement in history began with a single decision to act. The people who shaped the world were not those who had no fear, but those who refused to let fear decide their future. They didn't wait until they had all the answers. They moved with what they had, trusting that clarity would come through the process. Too many people spend their lives waiting for the perfect moment, but here's the truth: there is no perfect moment. The stars will never align, and the conditions will never be flawless. The right time is the moment you decide to start. Action creates momentum, and momentum creates breakthroughs. Courageous action is about stepping into the unknown, even when the outcome is uncertain. It means daring to believe in your potential enough to take the first step, even if the path ahead seems foggy. You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step. And when you do, something incredible happens. Doors begin to open that you never saw before. Opportunities emerge that were hidden, and people come into your life who were meant to help you. None of that would have happened if you had stayed still, thinking, planning, and waiting. Fear thrives in inactivity. The longer you wait, the stronger fear becomes. But when you act, even in small ways, you weaken fear's hold on you. Each step forward builds confidence, proving to yourself that you are capable. This is why courage is not about feeling fearless. It is about making decisions that align with your dreams rather than your doubts. Every time you choose action over hesitation, you are casting a vote for the person you want to become. Taking action also requires accepting that failure is part of the process. Too many people let the fear of failing stop them from even trying. But failure is not the opposite of success. It is a stepping stone to it. Every failure teaches you something, strengthens your resilience, and refines your strategy. When you see failure as feedback rather than defeat, you liberate yourself to act boldly. Some of the most successful people in the world failed dozens, even hundreds of times before they finally succeeded. They succeeded because they kept moving. They understood that every no brought them closer to a yes. Every setback carried a lesson, and every delay was building their endurance. The courage to act is not only about chasing big dreams, it is also about daily choices. It is the decision to make the call you've been putting off, to have the conversation you've avoided, to apply for the opportunity you think you're not qualified for, to step into spaces that stretch you. These small, consistent acts of courage compound over time, creating massive transformation. The life you desire is built not in one giant leap, but in a series of brave steps, one after another. And let's be honest, courage will often feel uncomfortable. You may shake, you may doubt, you may wonder if you're making the right move, but discomfort is a sign of growth. If you're too comfortable, you're not expanding. Growth lives outside your comfort zone, and the only way to get there is to step out in faith. That leap may not be easy, but it will always be worth it. When you embrace courageous action, you begin to realize that you are more powerful than you ever imagined. You stop asking, "What if I fail?" and start asking, "What if I succeed?" You stop shrinking to fit the expectations of others and start expanding into the vision you were created for. You stop waiting for permission and give yourself permission to live boldly. This is your moment to rise, to step forward, to act with courage. Don't wait until you're fearless. Act now, and fear will lose its grip. Don't wait until you're ready. Action will prepare you along the way. Every step you take brings you closer to your destiny, and with each act of courage, you are building a future that reflects the greatness within you. Remember, you were not made to live in hesitation. You were made to act, to create, to lead, and to transform your life by choosing courage over fear. Belief in yourself is one of the greatest forces you will ever possess. Without it, talent remains hidden, opportunities go unnoticed, and dreams slowly fade into the background. With it, however, you can turn the impossible into reality, rise after every fall, and create a life that reflects the greatness inside of you. Building unshakable faith in yourself is not about arrogance or ignoring your weaknesses. It is about recognizing your worth, owning your potential, and refusing to let fear or doubt define your path. The truth is, if you do not believe in yourself, no one else's belief will ever be enough to sustain you. Faith in yourself begins with how you speak to yourself. Too many people sabotage their own journey with negative self-talk, constantly replaying past mistakes, focusing on weaknesses, and doubting their ability to succeed. Words are powerful. If you constantly tell yourself you're not good enough, eventually you'll start living as though it's true. But when you shift your inner dialogue, when you start affirming your worth, your capabilities, and your resilience, something begins to change within you. You start walking taller, speaking with confidence, and showing up differently in the world. The first step to building unshakable faith is choosing to feed your mind with words of power instead of words of defeat. Unshakable faith is also built through experience. You gain confidence not by thinking about what you could do, but by actually doing it. Every small victory, every challenge you overcome, adds a brick to the foundation of your belief. Think about the times in your life when you thought you couldn't make it through, yet you did. Those moments are proof that you are stronger than your doubts. The more you act, the more evidence you gather that you are capable. And the stronger your evidence, the deeper your faith in yourself becomes. One of the reasons so many people struggle with self-belief is comparison. It's easy to look at others and feel like you don't measure up. But comparing your journey to someone else's steals your confidence and blinds you to your own progress. You are not here to live someone else's story. You are here to live yours. Your gifts, your struggles, your timing, they are unique to you. Building faith in yourself means staying focused on your lane, celebrating your growth, and trusting that your journey is unfolding exactly as it should. Another crucial part of building faith in yourself is resilience. Life will test you. There will be setbacks, failures, and disappointments. But unshakable faith is not the absence of those things. It is the ability to keep going in spite of them. Resilience means you may bend, but you will not break. It means when life knocks you down, you rise again with even greater determination. Every time you get up after a fall, your faith in yourself grows stronger because you realize that no challenge has the power to defeat you unless you surrender to it. Surrounding yourself with the right people also strengthens your self-belief. Being around those who see your potential, who encourage your growth, and who remind you of your worth can help reinforce your inner faith. At the same time, you must also learn to silence the voices of those who doubt you. Not everyone will see your vision, and that's okay. Their lack of belief doesn't define you. What matters most is that you see it, you believe it, and you live like it's possible. Building unshakable faith in yourself requires patience. Confidence doesn't appear overnight. It grows with time, practice, and persistence. Some days you may feel unstoppable, and other days you may feel small. That's normal. The key is to keep showing up for yourself, to keep choosing faith over fear, even when it feels hard. Over time, those small choices compound into an unshakable foundation that nothing can tear down. When you believe in yourself, you give yourself permission to dream bigger, to take risks, and to pursue opportunities that once felt out of reach. You stop asking, "What if I fail?" and start asking, "What if I succeed?" You stop waiting for others to validate you and start validating yourself. You stop living small and begin walking boldly into your potential. That shift changes everything because the world responds to the energy you carry. When you carry faith, doors open, opportunities appear, and people are drawn to your confidence. The truth is, you were created with everything you need to succeed already inside you. Building unshakable faith is simply uncovering what has been there all along. It is reminding yourself daily that you are capable, worthy, and enough. No matter how many setbacks you face, no matter how many voices tell you otherwise, hold on to that truth. Because once you develop unshakable faith in yourself, there is no obstacle too big, no dream too bold, and no challenge strong enough to stop you from becoming the person you were destined to be. Every person has a deep longing to live a life of meaning, a life where every action, decision, and effort aligns with a greater vision. Yet many drift through their days disconnected from their true purpose, caught up in routines and responsibilities that keep them busy but unfulfilled. Aligning with purpose and vision is about reconnecting with why you are here, about living intentionally instead of simply existing. It's about understanding that you were not created just to survive. You were created to thrive, to contribute, and to make a difference. When you align your life with purpose, you stop wandering aimlessly and begin moving with clarity, direction, and passion. Purpose is the compass that gives your journey meaning. Without it, life feels empty no matter how much you achieve. People often chase success, money, or recognition, only to discover that even after achieving those things, something still feels missing. That missing piece is purpose. When you live aligned with purpose, even the smallest tasks feel meaningful because they are connected to something greater. Waking up each day becomes exciting because you know that everything you do is moving you closer to fulfilling your vision. But aligning with purpose is not always easy. It requires self-reflection, asking the hard questions. What truly matters to me? What gifts and talents do I have that the world needs? What brings me alive? Too often, people silence these questions out of fear or doubt. They tell themselves they don't have time to think about purpose, or they convince themselves that it's too late to change. But the truth is, it's never too late. As long as you are alive, you have the power to realign your life with what truly matters. Vision is the picture of the future that fuels your purpose. Without vision, purpose lacks direction. Vision gives you a target, a destination, something to aim for. It inspires you to push through challenges because you know where you're headed. Great vision is not about what's realistic. It's about what's possible. It's about daring to imagine a future so bold it stretches you beyond your comfort zone. When your vision is clear, your actions become focused, and distractions lose their power. Instead of drifting, you begin to live with intention, making choices that bring you closer to that vision every day. Aligning with purpose and vision requires courage, because the world will try to pull you in every direction. People will have opinions about what you should do with your life. Society will pressure you to follow certain paths that may not align with your true calling. But when you are clear about your purpose, you develop the strength to say no to what doesn't serve you and yes to what aligns with your mission. This clarity gives you peace because you no longer need to chase everything. You only pursue what fits your vision. The beautiful thing about living with purpose is that it not only transforms your life, but also impacts others. Purpose is always bigger than you. It's about the lives you touch, the problems you solve, the light you bring into the world. Your vision might inspire someone else to believe in their own. Your courage might give someone else the strength to act, and your story might become the hope someone else desperately needs. When you align with your purpose, you don't just live, you leave a legacy. Sometimes, aligning with purpose requires letting go of old habits, environments, or even relationships that keep you stuck. It's not easy, but alignment demands authenticity. You cannot live your true vision while holding onto things that are pulling you away from it. The moment you release what doesn't belong, you create space for what does. And in that space, clarity, peace, and opportunity begin to flow. Purpose and vision don't eliminate challenges, but they give you the strength to face them. When you know why you're doing something, you can endure almost anything. Obstacles become tests that refine you rather than barriers that defeat you. Vision keeps your eyes fixed on the bigger picture, reminding you that today's struggle is shaping tomorrow's strength. Ultimately, aligning with purpose and vision brings fulfillment that nothing else can. It turns ordinary days into extraordinary ones. It makes the difference between simply going through life and truly living it. You are not here by accident. You were created with intention. The gifts you carry, the passions in your heart, the dreams in your mind, they are clues pointing you toward your purpose. When you embrace them and live in alignment, you unlock a level of joy, peace, and impact that cannot be found anywhere else. This is your time to stop drifting and start aligning, to stop settling for less and start living for more, to stop asking if your life matters and start proving that it does. The moment you choose to live with purpose and vision is the moment your life transforms into a masterpiece of meaning, impact, and fulfillment. Life is full of defining moments, crossroads where you either shrink back into comfort or rise up into the greatness that was always inside you. Rising strong and claiming your moment of greatness is about refusing to let fear, failure, or doubt have the final say. It's about recognizing that everything you've been through, every struggle, every disappointment, every setback, has been preparing you for this exact season. Too often people wait for the right time to step into their greatness, but the truth is, there is no better time than now. The present moment is the only moment you can control, and it is in this moment that your destiny is shaped. Rising strong begins with resilience. Resilience is the ability to stand tall after being knocked down, to gather your strength even when everything in you feels weak, and to push forward when circumstances scream at you to quit. Life is not about how many times you fall, it is about how many times you rise. Every comeback story begins with a choice, the decision to rise again. When you rise, you prove to yourself and to the world that your spirit is unbreakable. It doesn't matter what has happened in the past, what people have said about you, or how many times you failed. What matters is that you are still standing, still fighting, still moving toward your purpose. Claiming your moment of greatness also requires courage. Greatness never arrives in comfort zones. It calls you to step into the unknown, to stretch yourself beyond your limits, and to take risks that others are too afraid to take. Courage doesn't mean the absence of fear. It means moving forward despite it. Fear will always whisper reasons to hold back. What if you fail? What if people laugh? What if it doesn't work? But courage answers back. What if I succeed? What if my story inspires someone else? What if this moment changes everything? The only way to find out is to rise and claim what is meant for you. Your moment of greatness is not just about achieving personal success, it's about fulfilling your unique purpose. Every person is born with gifts, talents, and passions that the world desperately needs. Rising strong means refusing to bury those gifts under excuses, procrastination, or fear of judgment. The world does not benefit from the version of you that hides. It benefits from the version of you that shines unapologetically. Your greatness lies in using your gifts to make an impact, to inspire, to create change, and to leave behind a legacy that outlives you. To claim your greatness, you must also shift your perspective on failure. Failure is not the opposite of greatness. It is a vital part of it. Every setback carries lessons that strengthen you for the next chapter. Each time you stumble, you gain wisdom that makes you more prepared for your breakthrough. Greatness is not built on perfection. It's built on persistence. Those who rise strong are not those who never fall, but those who refuse to stay down. Another key to rising strong is persistence. There will be days when you feel like giving up, when progress seems slow, and when the weight of your dreams feels too heavy. But persistence is what separates the average from the extraordinary. The moment you decide to keep going, when everything inside you wants to quit, that is the moment you build unstoppable strength. Persistence is not glamorous. It's often quiet, unseen, and difficult. But over time, it produces results that nothing else can. Claiming your moment of greatness also requires authenticity. You cannot rise strong by trying to be someone else. Your power lies in being fully yourself, embracing your story, your struggles, and your uniqueness. Too often, people dim their light to fit in, but greatness demands that you stand out. You were not created to blend in with the crowd. You were created to make an impact. The moment you stop apologizing for who you are and start owning your identity is the moment you truly rise. Finally, rising strong is about embracing responsibility. Greatness is not handed to you. It is claimed through discipline, commitment, and faith. You cannot wait for someone else to save you or for circumstances to magically change. You have to take responsibility for your life, your choices, and your future. When you do, you take back your power. You stop being a passive participant and become the active creator of your destiny. This is your moment, not tomorrow, not someday in the future. Now, the same strength that carried you through past struggles is the strength that will lift you into your future. The same fire that refused to let you quit is the fire that will fuel your breakthrough. You were not created to live small, hidden, or afraid. You were created to rise, to shine, and to claim your place among the greats. So stand tall, shake off the dust of the past, and walk boldly into your moment. Because this is the time you were made for, and greatness is already within your grasp.